Hi everyone, it's Brie and welcome back, beautiful soul, to another episode of the Bee Hive, where we don't just talk about conscious manifestation, we live it, breathe it, and become it. But before we dive in, if you've been craving a space where you don't have to perform your healing to belong, where you can show up mid-trigger, mid-tears, messy bun and all, and be loved even more for it, let me tell you about two spaces I've built with you in mind. First, there's the Bee Hive membership, a soft landing and a steady spark, monthly rituals, live calls, and embodiment practices designed to anchor you back into your power. Even when the 3D looks like your drunk Aunt Sally on Christmas, 5 glasses deep, warning all the kids never to fall in love while her latest boyfriend chain smokes on the porch. Because staying grounded in your magic shouldn't depend on what the outside world is doing. And if you're ready to go even deeper, to alchemize the patterns that keep dragging you back into spirals, to radically upgrade your identity and step into the version of you that gets everything she desires without chasing, I created Become Her just for you. These aren't programs, they're portals. They're the places you return to when you're done settling and ready to rise. You'll find links to both in the show notes or down in the YouTube description. Now let's get into it, because what we're about to unpack will change how you meet yourself in every mirror. Today's episode is for the ones who've tried to affirm their way through pain, who've slapped high vibe band-aids on top of old wounds and wondered why nothing sticks. We're talking about triggers, the real gritty 3D kind, the moments that make you want to spiral, chase, shut down, or disappear. And I'm bringing you behind the scenes of a deeply personal moment I experienced last weekend with my specific person, a moment that cracked something open in me and reminded me of one powerful truth. You're allowed to be human and magnetic at the same time. So if you've ever felt like you were failing your manifestations because you were in your feelings, this one's for you. Let's dive in. We know circumstances don't matter, but that doesn't mean they don't feel real as hell when you're in it, especially when you're trying to see your specific person or yourself through a loving lens. But all you can feel is fear, rejection, or the echo of an old version of you. Last weekend, I had a deeply uncomfortable conversation with my SP. It didn't go well, not gonna lie. And if I'm being honest with myself, I saw it coming. From the moment I even thought about bringing up the topic, I was bracing for impact. I rehearsed every worst case scenario in my mind. I walked into that conversation already assuming he wouldn't show up lovingly, that he'd react poorly, and that I'd be left again. Because I've had this conversation before, 16 years ago, with a different face, sure, but the same fear. I was still holding on to the pain, the trauma, the betrayal of that past experience. And my ego, she was just doing her job, protecting me, keeping me ready to defend myself from an outcome I expected. I didn't recognize myself in that moment. I didn't recognize him either, if I'm being honest. But the man I choose to love would never intentionally hurt me like that. And yet he did, because I didn't leave him the energetic room to rise and meet me. The truth, I wasn't ready to believe I could get better. So I got exactly what I expected. Now, I'm not gaslighting myself into pretending it didn't hurt. It fucking sucked. I cried. I got angry. I didn't want to talk to him because I hadn't yet released the pain from 16 years ago, and he was never meant to carry that weight. He even begged me not to make him the villain in the story. But for the last few days, I sure as hell have been. Not because he's not a good man, not because I don't love him, but because I hadn't yet trusted myself to exist in love without preparing for pain. And I'm still working through it. But here's what I know now. I can zoom out, I can see the pattern, and I can feel my way through it, not around it. For most of my life, I've been trained to stuff it all down. Don't ruffle feathers. Be the good girl and not the good kind. Shrink, contort, perform, all to avoid abandonment. But now, I get to look back and say, I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to prove I'm lovable by twisting myself into a version of me that's palpable for someone else. I am the woman now who knows her worth, the woman who is loved out loud or not at all. I am the gold platinum standard. And I get to require that the people that I surround myself with rise to meet me or lose access to me. So, how do you shift in the moment? You honor your humanness. You feel the thing, you face the trigger, you let the chaos swirl around you and still decide to stand. You say, no fucking more. I don't abandon myself here. You put your hand on your heart, breathe, and remember, I always get what I want. Everything is working out in my favor. Even if it feels uncomfortable, I know what I get. I get the best because I give myself the best first. The 3D doesn't hold power over you. You hold the pen. There are infinite versions of your SP, infinite realities waiting to mirror back the new version of you. But they can't if you're still operating from the pain of the old one. Triggers don't disappear. They're like assholes. They'll always show up. But now you know how to meet them without letting them lead. You get to say, not today. You don't get to drive. I know who I am, and it's not this. But first, you feel. You stop affirming over the wound and you tend to it. Because, baby, that's not healing. That's avoidance dressed up in a spiritual filter. And we're not doing that anymore. So, yes, circumstances don't matter, but your feelings do. And honoring them won't slow your manifestation, it'll supercharge it. You could never mess up what's meant for you. You decide what's meant for you. You're too magnetic, too loved, too you. Your desires already belong to you. You don't need to shrink or earn or wait. You're not asking for too much. You are the standard. You're the prize. You're once in a lifetime. You're her. If this episode stirred something in you, take a breath. You're not broken. You're becoming. And if you're ready to deepen that becoming, to stop spiraling when the 3D wobbles and start leading with the version of you who always gets what she wants, come join us. Step into the Bee Hive membership for ongoing support, rituals, and sisterhood. Or take the leap into become her if you're ready for the full identity shift. These are not spaces to fix yourself. They're sacred rooms where you come home to the version of you who already has it all. Links are in the show notes, and my DMs are always open. I mean that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing you. You are the prize. You are her, and you're already doing it. Until next time, stay golden, stay grounded, stay becoming. Love you.